We got to stand up for you. You're just going to love her. I know it. Her name is Sandra BATTAGLINI.
Oh my God, guys, keep it going for Dan Gallia.
No, keep it going for her.
Come on, and keep it going for everybody who's been on the show. Come on, I want to hear you guys, seriously. Woo! Pump it up, right? So, Caneston, hey ladies? Anybody sitting on one right now, taking it easy, you know? Just fighting a little bit of an itch. Do you guys remember that Caneston commercial, though? Do you guys remember that Caneston commercial where there was like this pilot helping an old lady put her luggage in the overhead compartment? And she looks at the camera and she's like, at my job, I can't afford to be distracted by something like a yeast infection. Good for you, okay? Because I'm always looking for a distraction, you know? Like, I've had to do some temp jobs in my time. Anybody else temp before? Pretty shitty, right? So I get this temp job and I have to like number a document in Word. And it's pretty complicated, like 1.1a, 1.2b, 1.3c, right? And I spent my whole day numbering this document. And at the end of the day, I check my work and I see that Word has renumbered everything, right? Because Word wants to fuck with you, okay? It wants to play mind games. And then I started to daydream and I'm like, you know what I could use right now? A yeast infection, right? To get me out of this bullshit that's become my life, you know? Because I'll look at my coworkers, I'll be like, hey guys, gotta go. Gotta put out a spicy fire. You know what I mean? And then walk out of the office with a Caneston pill on my back like a firefighter, right? Hey guys, a little yeasty times, right? Why not? 2018, you know? If I was a stripper, that would be my stripper name, Yeasty Times, you know? I'd be like, hey, bro, you want a lap dance or a focaccia? You know what I mean? Rosa Maria, basilico, oh yeah, tomato salsa. Woo, okay. I ate too much pizza. I'm fucking dying. Anybody else? Holy shit, that fucking arugula, fucking goat's cheese, garlic, right? I'm burping that shit up. You know what I'm talking about? Anybody want to take me home? Hey, little Caneston, little arugula, what a fucking treat. Okay. Guys, I heard this couple arguing on the TTC, and the woman says to the guy, she's like, you know what? She goes, don't call me a honey. I hate when you call me honey. It's so demeaning. And I was like, oh my God, like, say that to the bees. You know what I mean? Like, you know how much buzzing they got to do to make honey? And then you put their shit down like that, right? Like, that's why the bees are going extinct, because calling an empowered woman honey is demeaning, you know? Right? And then a little while later, the guy says, he's like, how long does it take to go to the Eaton Center? And she's like, you know what? I don't want to talk to you right now. What you said before really stuck. And I was like, this bitch is making her own puns. You know what I mean? Okay, new joke. Yeah. Let's get it out. Focaccia. Woo! Honest to God, I'm trying to digest while I'm up here. You know what I mean? Buddy, take it easy. Take it easy. I did this. I perform all sorts of crazy places, and about a month ago, I was asked to perform at a ladies' marijuana retreat, okay? In the woods. In the fucking woods. Like, it is as crazy as you could even imagine and more. There's like cannabis activists and witches. Really, Wiccans. It was a fucking cauldron. You know, like literally. We did this thing in a circle where we get to bitch, say something great, and then every time you bitched, you'd pass a joint, right? So we were soups high. And then after the woman says her bitch, everyone's like, hail, sister. But I said, heil, sister. You know what I mean? I'm like, wrong situation. You know what I mean? And then, this is the second time I've done this retreat, all right? And when I get there, I go and, greet the people that I know, and I go to the cook, Danny, who's pretty awesome. And she's white, she's got dreads, you imagine, right? And I was like, hey, Danny, what's up? She's like, I don't know. She goes, I went to the doctor, I have this really bad rash. And I was like, okay. And she's like, you want to see it? I mean, not really, but go ahead, So she lifts her leg, and it's a fucking serious bad rash, right? And then she's like, I'm like, you know what? It's gonna go away. She's like, yeah, and you know what? I started dating somebody. He's really hot. Do you want to see a picture of him? I'm like, sure. She goes, and he's a real kinky motherfucker, right? So she shows me a picture of him. He's really hot, but he's got like a knife dangling from his hands. And I was like, Danny, I go, this guy's hot, but what's with the knife? She's like, well, he's a trapper, and he hunts, and he cuts my clothes off in foreplay. I was like, and she, you know what the good thing is, though? She's a sewer, right? So she could sew that shit all back up. Good for her. You know what I mean? She sews her own clothes. Anyways, you guys are not bad. What the fuck is this? A T-shirt? What's happening here? Oh, it's a napkin? Okay, take it easy. All right. Whew, I gotta take it. Whoa, I gotta let the old labs take a breather. You know what I mean? The old labia, right, ladies? Oh, guys are always like, my balls, my big bad balls getting in the way, right? Chicks got labia too, right, ladies? That shit gets twisted up when you don't want it to, right? You're at church, you're trying to fucking sing, and you're like, oh my God, my labs are twisted in my pantyhose. What do I gotta do to untwist them, right? What do we gotta do? We gotta put our leg up on the microphone stand or the fucking speaker, give it an old rest. Oh my God, I love performing in front of these people because they're all my sister's colleagues. They all work for the school board right over here. Like all this shit you've been saying to these poor people, eating out, all this garbage. Well, none of you guys work in the school system no more, right? Oh, so fuck it, right? Speaking about eating out though, guys, everyone wants to do something new lately. And you know, everyone's talking about it's eating ass, right? Eating ass. It's a fucking epidemic. All the millennials are going nuts with this eating ass. You can't have a conversation with a millennial before I'm like, oh yeah, I eat ass. And you know why? That's because we have too much food. You know what I mean? There's too much food. Nobody has to hunt for food anymore. So what are they going to do? Eat ass, right? I can't deal with it. I'm like, this is insane. When we were kids, my dad would always threaten us if we were being spoiled. He's like, you know what you guys need? You guys need a famine, right? He's Italian, grew up during the Second World War. That's what everybody needs. When the famine comes, you think anybody's going to be eating ass? No, right? Your husband's out fucking all day in the Oak Ridges moraine, you know, foraging for berries, right? He comes home with a basket. And you're like, babe, I love the basket, but you want to eat my ass? He's like, are you fucking kidding me? Do you know what I had to do to get these berries, right? And you want me to get on all fours and eat your fucking ass? We don't even have a lot of water. This ass isn't clean. Anyways, I did this for Dan's dad. Look at this guy. He's like, are you disgusted? Maybe. I don't know. When I looked at you, you were like, he's just tasting. It's the aftertaste of eating ass. That's what he's got going on. Or something. I don't know. Anyways, he doesn't look too happy. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Guys, my family lives in Woodbridge. Big surprise, eh? Anybody from Woodbridge here? No? Are you kidding me? Nobody? What? They're from, where are you guys from? Brampton? Toronto? I just burped. Did you hear that? I was like, oh, I'm going to sneak a burp in. Nobody would have heard it if I didn't say it. Oh, fuck. Nobody from Woodbridge. That's crazy. Well, anyways, let's shit on them, right? I don't know what it is about Woodbridge, but every time I hit Highway 7, I just want to fight. My people piss me off, okay? And I've gotten into a couple of fights in Woodbridge. I'm going to tell you about one of them. It was my mom's birthday, and we were making Caesar salad. And I was going to just run to Longo's to go grab some bacon because we wanted to be authentic, right? So I was like, this is going to be quick. And when I get to Longo's, I get the bacon, I go to the express line, but there's this like Woodbridge Gina princess like unloading her very full cart onto the conveyor, okay? And everybody is and the cashier doesn't know what to do, and she mouths, I'm sorry, to me. And I was like, fuck this, man. I got to say something. This is bullshit, right? So I say to the woman, I'm like, excuse me, ma'am. This is the express line, like 1 to 8 items. And she's like, I have children. And I was like, what does that have to do with anything, right? And she's like, you know what? Why don't you mind your own business? And then I said to her, you're an asshole, right? It's true. right in front of her kids. Right in front of her kids. And you know what? They needed to hear that day, all right? Because all their short lives, they're like, I think my mom's a good mom, right? But then I show up, drop the truth, and they're like, oh yeah, I always knew something was up with this bitch. I always knew this bitch was an asshole, right? You know, you fucking know, right? Anyways, and then she says to me, she's like, you know what? You need to learn how to talk in front of children. And I'm like, you're right. That was so aggressive. So I take one look at her little guy. He's 2, and he's screaming like an animal. Like, worst piece of shit kid you could imagine. I'm like, we already have enough garbage on the planet. Now we got to deal with it. Don't no ahs for these little fuckers. I'm telling you right now. Okay? Seriously. And then her 4-year-old, I love that. Aw. No, fuck it. And then her little daughter is 4, and she's staring at me something fierce. She wouldn't let up. I was like, what the fuck is up with this kid? Like, to the point where I was like, is she giving me the evil eye? You know? Because the evil eye gets tossed around in Woodbridge like confetti. It's true. That's why all these old Italian people got to get their knees replaced. Do you notice this? It's an epidemic with my people. Eventually the knees go, you know? And if one Italian finds out that another Italian is getting their knees replaced, they're like, you know what? I'm going to do 2 knees at the same time. Fuck Marie, right? Like, who competes in knee replacements? Italian people do. Anyways, so here's this kid staring at me, right? And I couldn't take it. Finally, I say to the kid, I'm like, what are you looking at, right? I'm an adult person asking a kid. And then at that moment, she averts her gaze and looks at her mother. And guys, the kid was cross-eyed. I asked a cross-eyed kid, what are you looking at, right? Probably a lot of things. Okay, listen, don't fucking moan on that shit because she was a little twat, you understand? Just like her mother. That's where it starts, 4 years old, right? If you keep putting water on this twat, it's just gonna keep growing into a bigger and bigger twat. And then you're like, why the fuck is Toronto full of twats? It starts in the Longos and Woodbridge. You know what I mean? You gotta cut that shit off, right? Oh, yeah. Whew, I'm a little more digested. It's all good. Yeah. Christmas time, I know that was a while ago. Did everybody have a great Christmas? A little bit, yeah. I love Christmas because my dad does the Christmas decorating. He specializes in the nativity scene, all right? It's true, you should see what he does. It's like, it's a whole reinterpretation of the birth, all right? And it's like, there's the usual suspects like Joseph, Mary, the 3 wise men, Baby G's. That's what he calls Jesus, Baby G's, okay? But then there's like a whole bunch of other characters that I haven't seen in the Bible, okay? And they're a lot of them are just like knickknacks from around the house and bonbonniere, okay? You know what bonbonniere are? That's what it is. So there's like fucking turtles. There's turtles, you know the chocolate turtles? It's like ceramic collectible fucking turtles. Like, that's amazing. You know, you think about it, like a turtle showed up at the fucking birth. They're slow, you know what I mean? That's a miracle that these fucks took that, you know, they'd been probably traveling for 400 years. They knew. They're like, I see the light 400 years ahead. I'm going to get there, you know? And then there's like a ceramic pig. There's a pig. Like, that's pretty amazing, right? Like, who would have thought a Jew would invite a pig to a birth? But there you go, right? And then there's a unicorn. Guys, a unicorn. Like, that's pretty gay. Am I right? But so is a story about a guy who's so into S&M that he willingly gets nailed to a cross for his daddy. Hey, ooh! Let's have fun, right? And then guys, there's like a flute player from the Middle Ages. A flute player. Isn't that unbelievable? Like, that's a time-traveling entertainer. But he's not the only one, because beside him, my dad built like a miniature church with like miniature pews and a miniature tabernacle. And then inside is like Jesus, like an adult Jesus serving his own body of Christ to Precious Moments figurines. Isn't that fucked up? Like, either my dad is meta or he's nuts, you know? And then outside of the church is just Santa Claus on a rocking chair, right? Because he's too fat to fit inside of the church. Anyways, guys, that's my life. No big deal. No big tits. Did anybody get here on the TTC? Right? Have you guys noticed that TTC is getting into apparel? They're like, they've got t-shirts and fucking ball caps. And their whole campaign is, take the TTC home. introducing even more ways to take the TTC home, and you can like order all this shit. And I'm like, who's on the TTC thinking, what can I take home from this? You know what I mean? Like that, oh, I'm gonna take home that pole. You know what I mean? I'll take home that pole, I'll bring it home, put it in the bedroom, you know what I mean? Do a little strip tease. I won't even wipe it down as is, right? Look at this guy, he's like, ew. That's how, right, you take the TTC home, okay? And then, I don't know if you saw this, there's like another, it's a sexual assault awareness campaign. It's called #ThisIsWhere. And so they have these like little anecdotes, and the one that I saw was this. It said, Marta was riding along the TTC one day with her son when all of a sudden a man came and sat across from them. When Marta wasn't looking, the man exposed himself to her son. When Marta looked back, she was horrified. How will she ever explain to her son what happened? And I'm like, well, she could start off by saying, hey, listen, son, I don't know what the fuck Louis C.K. is doing on the TTC. You know what I mean? Take it easy, right? I thought he lived in New York. You look like my cousin. Are you Italian, buddy? Yeah, totally. Totally Italian right here. I could see it in the face. Like, where from? Abruzzo? Friuli. Does anyone even fucking know what that means? No. Cheese, did somebody say? That was the best, cheese. Yeah, it's true, Friolan, are you kidding me? Love that shit. But they claim they have their own language. That's the Friolan. They're like, fuck the rest of Italy. We got our own cheese, you know? Every part of Italy has their own cheese. I have my own cheese. You know what I mean? Stuck right over here. Take a look at this. A nice fucking layer of cheese right here. I'll do one last thing, guys, before I hit the road. Anybody online dating? Anybody? Yeah? Which one? This guy? What are you on? Tinder? Bumble? Anybody else? No? They're all shit. I don't know. I used to be on dating sites. Not anymore, so you can put your phones away, everybody. But I had to get off because every time I go on these dating sites, I always got asked the anal question, like all the time. And I didn't get it because my profile pic was my face, not my ass. You know what I mean? Like, guys would be like, hey, how are you? Good, how are you? Do you do anal? Like, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, right out of the gates like this? Like, hold the anal, you know? Hold it for, I don't know, when we're in the sack, slip it in, see where it goes. Right? But then I quickly discovered it's not quite a slip-in, you know? It's more like a jackhammer trying to split up a sidewalk, you know? Like, right? Like, I'm just saying, anal sex isn't like it is in the movies. I love these people laughing right now, right? It's not like it is in the movies. They make it look so easy, you know? Like in Los Angeles, in those condos with the palm trees, right? And then the camera does that close-up into the chick's ass. I'm like, what are we supposed to find the truth in this black hole? You know what I mean? Push it out. Push the, let's, wider lens. You know what I mean? Anyways, so that was always my Tinder, my online experience. It was crazy. But my last experience on Tinder was with a guy named Joey Agostino. Does anybody know Joey Uggs? No? Well, anyways, he's killing it on Tinder. And this was his message to me. Somebody knows Joey Agostino, I swear to God. Or it's you. Is it you? I'm like, one day he's going to show up. He'll be like, it was me. Oh, okay. Well, here it goes. This is what he said to me, right? First thing. He's like, I really want to eat you out. Right? And then I was like, you know what? I got nothing going on tonight. Right? But it's because he said really, you know? Because if he would have just said, I want to eat you out, insecure me would be like, really? But he took care of all that shit, right? So I'm like, let's go to the races, Agostino, right? So then we were trying to figure out like where we would meet up, and we agreed we'd meet up halfway between where he lived and I lived, and he lived at like Yonge and Lawrence, and I live at like Carlaw and the Lakeshore. So then he goes, why don't we meet up over at the gas station at Yonge and the 401? And I'm like, how the fuck is that halfway? And what are we gonna do when we get to the gas station? Right? He goes, there's a couple of really tall trees. I'll park my car behind there. I got an Acura, leather seats, right? And then I was like, you know what? Who the fuck am I, right? What, I gotta be fancy? I need a bed? No. I can get a lick down at a gas station like the next guy, right? Because then when I'm done, I'll just go fill up my gas, right? I'm right there. And then I'll go into the on the run, right? Grab a couple of wipes, wipe it down, come to the rec room, nobody knows. Anyways, guys, you were amazing. Thank you so much. Keep it going for my friend Dan Gallia.
No, you keep it going.
Oh, no, you
for
keep
Sandra,
it going.
You
No,
keep
you
it
keep it
going.
going. You keep it going.
You go for her. Hey, Sandra, don't leave yet. Okay. I want to know more about your life.
Okay.
Where can people see you if they want to see you?
Oh, I have a show on Tuesday on the Danforth at Pape and Danforth, and last Tuesday of the month. And then Friday, April 13th, it's a show called Saints and Sinners.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And also, Sandra right now has a petition going, and can you tell them a little bit about the petition?
Yes.
I encourage you to sign this petition.
Yes, that would be amazing. So I don't know if you guys are aware that stand-up comedy isn't considered an art form in Canada. So stand-up comedians have no access to funding. And we basically do this like kind of mostly from our own pockets. So we're trying to change that so that we could get grants like other artists and musicians do. So if you love comedy, go to canadianstandup.ca and click on the button that says sign the petition. We need your signatures. Our goal is 100,000 signatures, and we'd love your support. So please do it, because it would change everything for us in this country. And yeah, thank you so much.
And Sandra's making that all happen. Give it up for Sandra BATTAGLINI.
Thank you.
She's so great.